Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take another look here at Bitcoin, see what's going on here today, of course. Help us understand best practice and big picture. If you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor, but I've been trading for over 15 years, 16 years now as a matter of fact, and I just love teaching people how to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. CryptoCache.tech is the website. Link in the description below if you want to become a better trader. I have a trading academy, an amazing community, over 300 members, and above and beyond that, I send out signals for every single trade that I take, so you can learn how to structure your trades and follow those if you'd like. Again, more information in the website description down below. So taking a look here at Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and touch on the obvious first of all. We're still stuck under 50 on the RSI, and until we're back up above that, I'm not going to feel extremely confident, but I do feel pretty good considering the fact we have decent momentum here and the price is continuing to progress higher. Now, another thing to note as well is that, of course, we've got higher lows here, and we've got this hidden bullish divergence, rather, whereas the RSI is lower now than it was before, and the price is higher. That's a very, very good sign in most cases. That being said, regardless of those facts, we do have a key level resistance here at 42,000 that's holding in position, posing a potential problem. Now, bear in mind, this is the first time we've attempted to break that and got rejected. It's also synonymous with the 50-day simple moving average. So we've got a 50 on the RSI, 50-day SMA, and of course a key level resistance that was a previous resistance and tentative support. So in other words, it's essentially a resistance now at 42,000. So a clean close above 42K with some extra volume would be fantastic. That would allow for us to have much more confidence moving forward that we're through kind of a potential barrier. We've got obviously there's more things we got to worry about later, but generally speaking, that's like the first major thing to acknowledge is a clean close above that. Now, it's okay if the price is sticking around where it's at right now, 41,600, perfectly fine. That's a previous resistance, now potential support, likely support, and we'll see that on shorter time frames. But generally speaking, mostly good stuff here. We also have a potential MACD convergence here, just telling us the shift in momentum. That bearish divergence is starting to wane, and we're starting to get some waxing bullish momentum. I threw in some moon references there. I hope you appreciate that. Either way, I'm not a moon boy, but I can tell you that Bitcoin does have potential if we break 42,000 to progress and continue higher to try to test its most recent high of 48 and to try to break through that 200-day SMA. There's potential there, of course. Now, is it going to go on a complete tear and a run from between now and then? It's hard to say, honestly. There's definitely potential considering its history and how much it's worked itself into this channel. This channel has been pretty consistent when you think about it, and there's definitely potential for the price to increase and to continue making higher highs. We're still making higher lows. Trend line is still holding. Therefore, we have to expect or anticipate that will continue to hold until it's broken. All right. That being said, a lot of good stuff here, ultimately, in my opinion, more positive than negative. And I think the likelihood of us breaking 42 is higher. But we also got to acknowledge the fact that it's obviously an instant rejection as soon as we came up there. So right now the bears are like, nope, we're selling at 42, hands down. That's all there is to it. The bulls are trying to get through there, but of course, we need more consolidation at this price point to effectively be able to build a more solid foundation of volume. What I'm getting at here is that we have a very healthy staircase pattern here. This is the kind of pattern that I love to see. That implies strength and consistency. Okay. Now, we don't see that in cryptocurrency very often, so I would say celebrate that while we can. But on the same accord, it's a very healthy start. It gives us that stability in expecting or anticipating the price to continue to increase. Yes, we have a red candlestick here. That makes perfect sense considering how much it's grown in the last 48 hours. But we have stable growth each time it increases. So literally, hypothetically, or whatever term you want to use to describe that, we should see in another 12 to 24 hours another leg up to break that resistance. That's roughly what we should expect or anticipate based on its current trajectory and history. So again, obviously that's a key level resistance, but the more often you test something, the more likely it is to break. And this is the first official attempt to break that level first beforehand. And if you look here in the inverse, the price came down, it tested it twice, 3 times, and even a 4th time, and then it finally broke down. Okay, so we could potentially, try to test it a few times before it can break. All right, so there's that as a likely scenario. There's also potential, of course, for the price to continue to progress lower, but if it does, as long as we stay over 40,600, I think we're in pretty good shape to ensure we still maintain those higher highs and higher lows. Well, at least potential higher highs and higher lows, of course. It really depends on how it unfolds. But generally speaking, as long as we don't break this most recent high of 40,600 and come below it, I think we'll still have enough juice, so to speak, to continue to maintain it. All right, so again, that's just kind of what we're looking at there for the moment. Once again, more positive than negative. We did get rejected off of 70 on the RSI, of course. That's coincidentally right there at 42,000 for the resistance. So no surprise that we got rejected there. That's actually good in a lot of ways because we don't want an RSI over 70 on the 4 hour. I don't like to see RSI over 70 on the 4 hour. I don't like to see it under 30 either. So generally speaking, when it does and it breaks above, it'll stay above for some time. But oftentimes 70 does reject the price action a lot harder than other time frames. At least the 4 hour seems to be pretty consistent with a little wall right there between 30 and 70. So once again, perfectly fine. Got that rejection. Hypothetically, the price continues down to 50 on the RSI. That would put us right around 41,000 and or 40,600 with a nice clean bounce to the upside. All right. So again, some really positive, ultimately good stuff here, but we can tell that, we can see on the midterm here that the bulls are starting to lose that momentum. And that's pretty standard, pretty much okay. That's par for the course. Nothing to be completely concerned with. Once again, as long as we don't break this plane of 40.6 upwards of 41,000, if we can come down and bounce off that area, that'd be perfectly fine. All right. So that's kind of what we're hoping for here on the 4 hour. Looking at the 1 hour, we can kind of see here, of course, with the cloud, we're still above. But the lagging span is intersecting with the price action now, basically just telling us that if you have a long position, you might want to consider taking some profits. And generally speaking, we're losing that overall momentum. Because again, with a staircase pattern, you can continue to maintain that, and the lagging span would normally be up over here, right? But instead, the price came back down, of course, got rejected off that. It's very standard for this to come down as well. So once again, I'm not telling you to close your position. I still feel on the short term here that Bitcoin is on the uptrend. But we do have to acknowledge that it's losing that momentum, so to speak, with that rejection, and could face a little bit more retracement potential. Looking at TD sequential though, we can kind of see here, of course, that we are at a reset. We got a 1, we came up to a 6. Not a big deal there. A lot of times recently, of course, you can see here we come up to an 8 or a 9. We did have a 9 previously as well. So with us having two, almost 9s in a row, it makes sense that we got rejected here because even though we had a decent consolidation period, it wasn't quite enough to get us over that hump. Perfectly fine. We'll try again later and get through it next time. That being said, we're looking pretty good here overall. One last thing I want to just double check on the cloud is that we do have potential support zone here, of course. See, so if the price were to come back down to any one of these support levels, the likelihood of it staying inside and coming back up is quite high because once again, this lower lead is working as a support, and both sides of the cloud essentially are considered to be support levels until it officially breaks through. So I don't think we should be concerned or worried at all until we're back below the cloud at this point to anticipate any type of potential, at least potential reversal. Because a lot of people are worried and think the sky is going to fall and we're going to see 24,000. While that's potential likelihood, it's not a probability. We talked about that in our trading group yesterday. Essentially, we have a trading community essentially, and what we do is we just talk openly every week about different scenarios. And once again, the price could come down to 24,000. There's no doubt that is a possibility. It could even come lower. But we got to be realistic in the fact that we're still in this ascending trend. We have a tremendous amount of volume below the current price point, and that's going to work as a very positive support, if you will. So again, we deal with it when we get there, but I want you to remain open to the idea that we could still sell off down that low. Of course, there's definitely no doubt that it could happen. Anything can happen, but the likelihood of that happening is pretty low. It's less probable, and I want you to try to not attach yourself to a specific direction, or at least tentatively a specific direction is okay, right? Because we're expecting it to go up, we got to maintain that. But I'm just saying, don't be so foolhardy to just say I'm a bull and that's it, or I'm completely just bearish, and then kind of hold true to that, and then go quiet when the bulls are up, and then say I told you so when the price is down. Those things don't really help at all. What helps is to adjust yourself to the scenario and to essentially always be dynamic every single day and expect the unexpected, the price could go up or down. But generally speaking, with everything we've extracted so far, the likelihood of it coming down right now, at least hard, is pretty low. While, of course, there's some profits to be taken here, don't get me wrong. Last 24 to 48 hours, the price has increased from bottom to top almost 8.5%, 9%. That is quite a significant increase in just say a 48-hour period. So of course there's going to be some profits taken. They're being taken right now. But we just got to acknowledge the fact that it's probably not going to be quite as severe as you'd think until we break below 40,600. In my personal opinion, I don't think we should worry about anything. Even when we get there, we'll still be able to reevaluate and understand what's going on. It's not going to be dire straits. Okay, so again, that's just kind of where we're at, and that's the reason why I've been opening so many signals here recently, because I feel confident and comfortable that 39,000 is a tentative bottom for the moment, and that we got to kind of anticipate that it's going to hold until this trend line is broken, right? Until we break below 39, we have no real reason to be overly concerned just yet. But I think the most immediate concern, if you were to have one, is 40,600 or 41. We lose either of those two, perhaps we'll have a different conversation. That's okay. We'll get there. Anyways, I hope you understand where I'm getting at here. It's not, all rainbows, of course, but it's more flowers than death. Or I don't know what kind of analogy you want to kind of describe there, but I think you get what I'm talking about. All right. Anyways, enough about that. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something here today. We'll go ahead and talk again tomorrow. A little bit more about this wonderful coin that we all love and hate. All right, I hope you have a great rest of your day. CryptoCache.tech is the website if you want to become a better trader. Look forward to getting to know you better. Have a good one.